Well, hey, hello there, this is RJB for RJB TV, where I bring you the very best fastest map matches on Starcraft Remastered in the world. Hope you don't mind that new introduction part. Just figured that I might actually need somewhat of a standardized, maybe a little bit over the top introduction, just for the sake of upping the production quality of the videos. So first, let's dive straight in to the action. We've got here on the top side of the map, wait, let me fix up the interface a little bit quicker. Here on the top side of the map, we've got the player 458. I think most of the viewers here know 458. For the people who are new and haven't been here before, 458 is considered among the Koreans. He's a Korean player. Both players are in fact Koreans. 458 is considered amongst the Koreans to be one of the elite Protoss players who is the guy to beat when you're playing fastest map 1v1. And then here, right below him, we've got the player Trisha, who is actually also a Protoss player. You could consider him 458's student of sorts. Not entirely sure if that's correct, but in the conversations I've had with these two players, that is somewhat the vibe I was getting from these two. Trisha is a little bit like the student, and 458, in a sense, the teacher. Not sure if that's correct, as I said, not sure if it's correct, so don't quote me on it, don't hold it against me. That's just my impression. So 458, as I said before, he's the guy to beat. If you want to prove yourself as being one of the very best among the very best, an elite among the elite, this is the guy to beat. This is the guy who gives everyone a hard time. He is a master of his craft. He's a master of the Starcraft. Haha, I had to say that one, apologizing again, because I'm keep letting these a little bit over the top cheesy lines keep slipping through. So Trisha here goes for command center after a barracks into a second barracks, and it looks like 458 is doing the exact same thing. Now I do think as a Protoss it's a little bit safer to do this than as a Terran, because as a Terran, if you get rushed in this situation, you are in a pretty hard to defend position. So the Zealot there coming out as Scout, Probe they're also coming out as Scout. The Forts they're on the way in the back, and Opponent coming up in the front. And of course the Nexus there also on the way. It got queued up after the first gateway. And 458 finds out that Trish is right next to him. Looks like Trisha did see the Zealot entering his base with his SCV. But he's going cross map first, sees the Probe they're coming from the top side, so he's changing his direction. And the Zealot here arrives on the scene before a single Marine is out and ready to fight. And that's what I meant. It is a little bit more dangerous to do this build order when you are a Terran than if you are a Protoss. As a Terran, you really just are not that well equipped to fight against the Zealot. And the Zealot, they're already on 2 kills, might have got number 3. Ooh, 458, they're already beasting right from the start with a single Zealot. Gets 3 SCV kills. That actually hurts significantly. That's actually a lot of damage. But there's no real follow-up potential from 458. So Trisha can kind of focus on recovering the SCVs lost with his extra command center and start building up to get a little bit richer. He's got an academy there on the way, second depot as well, still producing Marines, hasn't found his opponent yet as the SCV is still there on the left side of the map. Now going to the northern side, where he's only scouting the chokes actually, because he's assuming 458 has a choke, 2 cannons there and a pylon. There are structures in the choke. That's what he's looking for, finds them, tries to get in, can't get in, loses the SV to the double cannon shot. Here in the back, got double gas there, mining gas for 458, got a cyber core there in the back finished up, and he's gonna go for a Citadel or a Dune or a Robotics. Kinda depends on where his gas is going. He's very high on minerals, very uncharacteristic from 458, being so high on minerals. He's either not taking Trisha seriously yet, or he's gonna try something funky because he's saving up the minerals for something very specific. So robotics are on the way, and the Citadel of Dune also queued up and getting 2 more gateways and an extra pylon there on the top side to function as a skeleton for more tech structures to be placed there on the top. Trisha got a factory finished up, should have a machine shop on the way very soon. He's getting Stim almost finished up, got 1 medic there in the mix in the front. He stopped producing Marines for a round. Just one round. Get one more gas, get the machine shop, get a depot there in the front to basically get a wall to keep those zealots out, because zealots are going to periodically go and take a look at what's happening there in the front. And after that, in the near future, they're going to try to break through the front with 2 Reavers that are going to be produced from the Robos after the shuttle that's now being warped in by 458 finishes up. So Trisha there keeps those zealots away. 4 zealots can't really start too much against all those marines there, so he's going to be fine for a while. He's going to scan there in the back as well to start scanning at about the 5 minute 40 seconds mark. Maybe just after, close to the 6 minutes mark. That is around the time that the shuttles and the Reavers are both finishing up. And he wants to know if they are leaving and when they are leaving. Because if you have that information of when and if, you can put your Marines into position like this and focus on intercepting the shuttles. And also you will know exactly what is coming your way. If you see specific unit combinations you don't want to deal with, well, you prepare yourself adequately so that you at least can handle what is coming your way. So 2 zealots are trying to get in and trying to kill the SV. SV goes down, so the turret there gets slowed down. At least he kills the 2 zealots. Now, ooh, he's got more coming in. He's got Dark Templars queued up there back at home. 2 more zealots are walking into the base. 2 Reavers are on the way, all the way here back in 458's base. He's got triple Robo. Marines there trying to get a surround on those zealots, killing the zealots pretty quick. They are mostly just there to gather information. There's no real wall in the front there yet, just 2 depots and 2 bunkers to close up that little bit, but zealots can still walk through. It is not a very strong choke, but at least it is something. So 458 here going to try to sneak in with the Reavers and start killing stuff, but there's a tank there that's going to take down those Reavers, and there's a shuttle there getting attacked by the turret, and it looks like the Reaver there is going to go down after taking down most of the Marines. So a lot of Marines dead and gone. Tank there though stays alive, and so do the turrets. So now 458 who probably tried to open up a path for his Dark Templars to get into the base from, he's going to have to find another way. And there's most likely energy on the scan there in the back, and he's most likely got turrets pretty much everywhere in the base. There's a scan getting a good surrounder on the Dark Templars. 458 trying to run away, trying to keep the Dark Templar alive, keeps it alive. Now the other 2 Dark Templars are coming in for a fight, but there's turrets there on the top side. There's on the bottom side, he kills the Dark Templar. On the top side, the Dark Templars also both get taken down at the same time after killing the turret. So 458's early game strategies here, not quite working out. I'm gonna be honest, it looks like he's trying to toy with Trisha a little bit. That's a lot of Dark Templars in there, and I don't really see those Dark Templars achieving much. He's now finally getting Storm. He spent a lot of gas on those Dark Templars. He stopped building Dark Templars because he's realizing that, okay, maybe I should actually start playing this a bit more seriously. So Zealot Speed there on the way in the back. I don't think he's got level 1 attack there on the Zealots. No level 1 attack. He's mostly finishing up in gateways. He's got triple Robo. He's getting shuttle speed as well. Because for some reason, he didn't have shuttle speed yet. Maybe he didn't get shuttle speed early on because he was right next to Trisha and assumed that if I'm this close to my opponent, maybe I won't need it. At least not yet. I kind of like what Trisha did right here, keeping this as an open space so his Marines can very easily run through, instead of having to basically worm themselves through a very narrow gap to get through this little area. A small little detail that I kind of like. Also, the bunker there on the top side is very well placed, a very good choice against specifically Reavers and Storms. And Zealots, pretty much against everything you can imagine, the bunker is a pretty good choice there. It does take a little bit of money and investment to build it right there, but it covers a pretty good area and is most likely going to help in keeping those turrets alive, which is pretty important. Also, now we've got 1 armory on the way there, 2 armories on the way there for Trisha. He's fortifying the back lines of his base really, really well. The front side there, kind of underprotected. He's assuming 458 to go very hard on the drops, and he's not wrong. 458 is going very hard on the drops. There's about 7, 8, 9 shuttles there filled up with Zealots, Archons, whatever you can imagine as a gateway unit. You name it, it's in there. Waiting for the Corsairs to come and arrive. He's getting level 1 attack now, getting Dragoon range as well, and level 1 armor. He's also getting Templar energy upgrade to help him with getting those storms off. when he's trying to fly in as fast as he can after the Dark Templars spawn. Also now filling up the bottom side there with more Stargates, gateways. It's... what are these? What are these? Stargates. Gateways. I mean gateways. It's gateways. 6 of them on the way all over the base. Trisha now, well, he's at about 50 supply behind on 458, but he's doing a pretty good job keeping up in my opinion, because he's building a lot of structures. Which of course, the more SCVs that are building, the less minerals that are coming into your bank, the less units you'll have, but you might have more structures. He's got a lot of turrets on the top side. They're going to help him with taking down some of the shuttles. Most of the shuttles should make their way in easily under the assistance of Corsair. So there they go. They come in. Immediate quick response there from Trisha. 458 unloads on the top side. Doesn't go in any deeper because he doesn't want to lose any units inside the shuttles without actually doing anything. Starts killing whatever he can, but most of the units do go down pretty darn quick because tanks are firing, and there comes the real drop. Takes them, snipes them out of the air really quick. Ooh, great reaction there, great response there from Trisha. But he's going to lose the turrets on the top side because his units are... He lost a lot of Marines there during that exchange, and now he's losing all the turrets that he invested in so heavily. He's going to have to stim them down very quick to at least try to not lose everything on the top side. 458 got a pretty good hit off, although the investment was pretty massive. That was, I think, about 60-80 supply from 458 that got flown in there. Didn't really do much damage. I mean, it looks like a lot of damage, but the kind of damage he wants is lethal damage. Ooh, great unload there with the Templar on the high ground. Storms some Marines to death. Great little move there. Gets the most out of that single shuttle flying. Not a whole lot. Of course, he wanted to go for the minerals. We saw the Marines there in between, and instead changes, adapts, and kills Marines instead. And hopefully, did just enough damage, killed just enough units to set up for the follow-up attack. And here we're going to see a little bit of that spot advantage that Trisha has. The spot advantage 458 has is that it's very easy for him to attack because he's right next to Trisha. You can just fly shuttles over the hill and attack. But for Trisha, there is a counter option for him as well, and that is putting tanks right here on the high ground to basically interrupt whatever is leaving the base. But here he comes with a frontal attack, comes in with a storm drop as well. Storm drop turns around. He's just going to kill everything here in the front, as the front is completely unprotected. Everything is here in the back and on the sides, which actually it will allow him to dodge the storm really well. Great move there. Tries to fly in anyway. Dark Temp. Oh, High Temple's getting very close to the minerals. Recipes are running away. Still loses 12, 14 in total. Zealots are still coming through the front door, killing a lot of units. I think he lost about 30 supply there in total. 458 doesn't actually achieve much more than just killing 30 supply and a couple of bunkers and depots in the front. All things Trisha can't afford to lose, really. He can't afford to lose all those things. He doesn't really mind that much. Of course, it is annoying to have to rebuild all that, which he isn't. He's not rebuilding the choke there. I think he should. Rebuilding the choke can be very useful. But first, let's put more tanks on the high ground to annoy 458 even more. 458 preparing another drop. He's gonna do a double drop, it appears, from 2 different directions. Go in with one, distract, make Trisha focus on the one drop, and then he comes in with another drop immediately after. Goes in, taking heavy damage. Marines stimming in to take down the shuttles. Shuttles unloading on top of the tanks. Immediately storms, very quick storm there, but comes in with drop number 2. The real drop, distraction drop, has done its job, but the SCVs run away in time. So he is not going to lose his economy. Instead, he's going to lose some tanks and Marines instead. This is all damage Trisha can afford to take. Big investments there from 458, but nothing so far has really done the trick. Nothing so far has hurt Trisha to such a degree that Trisha's going to say, "Ooh, it's getting a little bit hot in here. It's time to take my clothes off." So he comes in, once again, they're from the top side. Ooh, immediately spots it out, gonna try to take down the shuttle, slims them down, unloads, but this, ooh, great target. Trisha is actually playing really aware here. He's playing really on point. This is really good gameplay. I'm really liking how quick he responds to all those things. That's kind of one of the benefits, though. Like, a lot of players think that high APM is super important, But something I've noticed in the very best of the pro players is that sometimes, or well, most of the time, they actually don't play as fast as they physically can. They slow down on purpose so they can focus more on precise execution and awareness. And some of the players with the highest APM in the world seem to have game plans that are less well executed, and they seem to miss some stuff sometimes here and there. So maybe that is why Trisha is basically reacting to everything really quickly. Because he's playing at a little bit of a lower APM than most others are. I mean, 220 is still pretty high, but he's a little bit slower in that regard. But maybe it allows him to open up brain power to focus on awareness and execution of his game plan, instead of just doing things very fast. Although here he's getting a little bit into a dicey situation as Zealots make their way into his base. Again, he's going to the bottom side, going to kill stuff there on the bottom side, distract on the bottom side, force units to move to the bottom side, and then he's most likely going to go in with a drop from the top side. Right here, he's going to try to get in. Can't really get in. He's going to have to storm the tanks of the high ground first. Trisha picks up 2 tanks, puts them right back on there. Saves 2 tanks. Now drop coming in from the front side. Are there any Marines ready to intercept this drop? Comes in from the front side. Tanks are pushing here into the 458's base. Flies all the way around. Flies into a Marine though, so now he has to go. Trisha knows it's coming. Tries to wriggle his way around all those Marines and turrets as these are running away to safety. Very good storm dodge there. Once again, still on 91 SCVs. Templars do go down after the storm. Right here inside of 458's base, we've got 4 tanks there. Ready to siege, ready to push, ready to hurt 458. And 458 now in a bit of a tricky situation, actually. So this great storms to the high ground there, though. The upgrades, I believe, are also in a pretty good spot on 222. He's not yet starting 333. So the upgrades might very soon actually be in the advantage of Trisha. Although Trisha is on 1-1, he's getting 2-2 at the moment. So both players will have equal upgrades very soon. But I do think the tank upgrades are a little bit stronger overall than the gateway unit upgrades. I don't see any star gates yet from 458, so no carriers on the way anytime soon. But of course the question also is, can he even transition into carriers at this point? Because if he tries to transition into carriers, he's going to get pushed during the time it takes to produce the carriers. Ooh, Templars get shut down right away. Ooh, all the Templars taken down before they can even unload their storm on anything that they want to hit with it. A couple Zealots there make their way into the base, hitting stuff left and right. Trisha rebuilding and remaxing. Another drop, they're already being loaded up. Gonna try to take those tanks down on the hill. You can just see how annoying this ledge is. The hillside, the tanks behind it, the tanks on top of it, they are really annoying. They're tripping up anything that walks through with its hack move. Because the Zealots can't really see the target, they can't attack it, they just start tripping out. Like, they're just tripping out. They cannot reach the tanks on the high ground. So this is what they do. They run back and forth. This is a really advantageous position for the Terran. Super annoying to deal with. At this point, 458 actually has to proxy somewhere else on the map or get carriers. But as I said before, he might not have enough time to get carriers. Reavers on the bottom side being annoying outside of tanker range. Going to kill armories, going to kill supply depots. This might slow Trisha down. Because he's now pushing into 458's base and he's going to lose this army here. And he won't be able to rebuild it if he loses too many of the supply depots. Great storms on the hill there from 458. Zealots in the front taking down the tanks. Tanks on the side, they're still alive with the assistance of the tanks on the high ground. Reavers on the bottom side still killing stuff. They kill, well, not as much as I anticipated. I think there's 1 armory, 3 supply depots. It's something, but not a whole lot. They could maybe have flown in a little bit further and gone for the drop there on their SCVs. Supply depots being built up on the middle to buy himself some time. The game pace is very high, but so far I haven't really seen anything that decisively makes me say the advantage is now in the hands of player 1 or player 2. I haven't seen any such thing just yet. So we've got level 3 armor there on the way from Trisha. I guess he was making level 3 attack there with the armory that went down. He hasn't queued up another level 3 attack for his tanks just yet. He's getting lockdown, AMP, and some ghosts. He's going to try to lock down those shuttles. Ooh, unloading on the high ground. Overvate, you're really keeping up the pace, really trying to at least deal with everything Trisha throws his way the best he can. But Trisha is slowly advancing. Actually, I'm going to say, like just a minute ago, I said that I think there's no advantage for either player yet. But at the moment, it looks like 458 is actually being pushed back tiny little bits by tiny little bits. He hasn't continuously been throwing drops into Trisha's base, but he's been focused on killing tanks on the high ground, killing tanks rolling through his front door. He's been too occupied to actually keep going for the storm drops on the SCVs. And when a Terran is basically allowed to just mine freely, unopposed, uninterrupted, they become very strong because they can just basically build a lot of factories and keep remaxing non-stop and win the ground game. Terran is the ground army king, although SCVs, Reaver there on the scene. Reaver shooting on the Marines instead of on the SCVs there though. So SCVs do manage to run away. He just killed about 8 SCVs there though. Zealots there running back and forth. Another wave of Archons and Zealots there cleaning out. Tempest arriving right next to the hill to storm on the tanks. Tanks are lower on HP now, but they take 2 storms to get taken down, so a couple of them do survive. Another wave of tanks that are leaving the base ready to go for the attack, but so far it's basically back and forth. It's taken a little while to unfold itself into the favor of either. So most of the SCVs are alive, and I think Trisha actually got helped out a little bit there because he had a couple too many SCVs, and now he's on 75, a little bit healthier, although he's not on a whole lot of gas. He's mining from 6 gas, and he might actually need, well, at least 8 or 10. Although he's hanging on there, he's pretty good in the gas department, but it might slow down his mass, wow, I can't pronounce it. Comes in, ooh, great lockdowns, but the Templar still storms, but the Templar misses the storm. But great use with his Ghost there. Great defense with the Ghost, gonna help him at least make it a little bit easier to protect himself from the storm drops when the storm drops do make their way through. Also microing the tanks, trying to keep... He's kiting Zealots on the low ground to allow the tanks on the high ground to do as much damage, while the tanks on the low ground take as little damage as possible. But Zealots might just be a little bit too fast to keep doing that. He's doing it to a great effect there though. Actually getting way more out of the tanks that were there than he should have been allowed to. Please get a couple more gas there, Trisha. Please get 1 or 2 more gas. Because you're going very low on the gas, time and time again. Every single time you go for a macro cycle. Orvate now also getting maxed out upgrades. Getting level 3-3 there for the ground. And his air, not sure what it's on because I can't see it. Because I can't... Oh, there's a Corsair. 0-0. So actually, even though he might need carriers at this point, it is not a wise choice to go for carriers because he doesn't have any air upgrades. He has got no air armor, no air weapons. It's all shields. It's all ground. Upgrades all across the board. Shuttles from the bottom side. There's 2 Marines that are ready to intercept, so this might get through, it might not. This might decide the game. Tanks are actually now in a pretty good spot there inside of Trisha's base. Drop comes in over the weakest side and the weakest spot, but he unloads on the supply depots. He's actually going a little bit deeper. Reaver there on the scene. Reaver tries to shoot on the SCVs. Reaver kills about 22 SCVs with 1 Scarab shot. Is that going to make a difference? Is that going to allow Forvate to regain control over the map as he's slowly losing his own base here on the bottom side? As the tanks keep pushing forward, he's losing supply depots here on the bottom side and armories as well. Reavers are shooting at everything they can, picks them up, going to fly a little bit close there to the SCVs. Will the SCVs run away, or will the Reavers take the shot off their life and end Trisha's game here forever? And yeah, they get a pretty good shot off there. Killed 20 SCVs in total. He's got a couple more there in the front. This is a really good one. This drop here is actually making a big difference. Reaver finally gets locked down. Reaver number 2 also gets locked down. Can't pick them up, can't use them. They're gonna get taken down very slowly. Orvate here has cleaned out the front side of his base. There's still tanks at the high ground there though, but I'm sure he's going to clean them out. Once he's cleaned them out, it's going to be difficult for Trisha to rebuild his own army. Although Trisha might actually try to go for the all-in on a small economy here. Because giving 458 time to make a comeback here, giving 458 time to take over control, might actually lose him the game. Now 458 does not have that many gateways. He hasn't built a second base. He hasn't built a proxy base. He's been staying on this one base the entire game. And now he's losing pylons, so a couple of his gateways are even underpowered. Wait, are we gonna see a nuke from... No nukes. I thought maybe we might see a nuke. Just moving ghosts, vultures, which are very cheap. Instead of making expensive units, he's now going for vultures. Might mine up the entire place here in the front. Pushing through, pushing forward. Game is actually... Ooh, maybe 458 was a little bit too late there with the hit there on the bottom corner. Now 38 SCVs, very, very low on gas. Trisha is very low on gas. He's basically forced to make Marines and Vultures. He cannot really afford that many tanks. His minerals are also very, very low. 458 is very, very rich. But Trisha has the advantage of already having a very strong hillside position set up here that 458 might not be able to deal with. 458 really needs a proxy base, or he really needed carriers. He can't go for carriers because he doesn't have time to build them, but he needs a proxy base. He needs a second base to at least start producing and go for a backstab attack, because he's going to lose more gateways, and basically every single Zealot that spawns at this point might not be able to clear out these units here. Neither might the Templars. He's gonna try though, and there's so many lockdowns on the shuttle, so he can't really get his Templars in close enough. Another lockdown there. There's a couple of units that are stuck inside the shuttles, now sacrificing his probe to open up supply space. Come on, boy, you really need the proxy base. Come on, come on, come on. 458, please get the proxy base. Well, actually, it might already be too late. It might already be too late. Trish is pushing and moving forward, setting up tanks, setting up mines. Just completely taken over control. No 458, you're no longer the captain. Trisha is the captain now. This is now his house. This is now the place where Trisha is going to live. Set up a nice little cozy bed, a nice little sitting corner in a kitchen with beautiful, beautiful utensils, and just start cooking a meal that 458 is not invited to. Crawling closer, forward and forward. 458 is trying to micro the best he can, unloading units on top of those tanks, flies them forward time and time again, but can't unload. Couple Marines are in the mix, just do just enough damage on the shuttle to take it down. Reaver Micro there in the front takes a couple units. Oh, actually, that scarab shot was pathetic. It hit precisely in the middle. It kills almost nothing. That one, though, that one gets some work done. A lot of Zealots there spawning on the top corner. Trisha now back on 60 SCVs. His minerals are, not all of them are mining. He's kind of just ignoring it there in the back. He's focusing on the fighting, focusing on the battle here in the front. Ooh, great Mind Drags there. Kills a bunch of tanks. Really well done there. But now he's only on 12 gateways. 4 robotics. Don't think that's going to be enough to clear this out. Specifically with the hillside here, completely taken over and crowded with tanks. Just a very, very strong, advantageous position there for Trisha. Also, I got the video title there. Advantageous position. Position advantage. I'm not sure how I'm going to call it, but I'm going to put it into the title, that's for sure. Great micro there on display. Great micro there on display. Kills 2 tanks there with the Reaver shuttle. Kills another 2 tanks there on the side. Might kill tank number 3. Reaver unloads. Reaver is not getting... Reaver gets taken down. Gets 1 shot off on another tank, but the tank stays alive. Couple more Zealots there running in to sacrifice their lives to get taken down before they can even hit the tanks. Picks up more Reavers in the backside. It's gonna come down to shuttle Reaver micro. Trisha is really on low minerals. He's really just not paying attention to his SCVs at all. It's about 12 SCVs there not mining minerals. Reaver on the side gets a shot off. Maybe it went down. It didn't go down. Gonna try to get another shot off. Kills 1 tank, kills 2 tank. Ooh, lockdown on the Reaver there. Shuts it down. Lockdown on the shuttle as well. Ghosts are back in action. Reaver's there, not even with the support of a shuttle, trying to take something down, but Trisha's just taken over. Not where I expected this game to go. Trisha just slowly pushing forward. 458 getting choked out. He's going to have to tap out. Very soon he taps out. Trisha with the strangle hold, the choke hold around 458's neck. 458 can't hold on any longer. Taps out. And it looks like we have our winner, boys. We've got our winner, and it's Trisha here, who played a very controlled and smart Terran. Very controlled and smart. Really impressive stuff. Actually, yeah, I thought this was a really impressive Terran. 4 of 8 tried a lot of things. He should have really gone for carriers when he had the chance to. He just really wanted to play this game with shuttles. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you want to play the game with shuttles, and sometimes it doesn't really work out. So our champion here, Trisha, takes home the trophy. And this was it for RJB here at RJB TV, where you can watch the very best fastest map matches, Starcraft Remastered, in the world. And now, it's time to go. It's time to fly. Goodbye.